high five.
Last time on Mythbusters The Search,
You're almost halfway there.
our half-dozen hopefuls became human geckos
Good job, Alan.
for a 7-story vertical vacuum challenge.
Nice.
In this myth, they all had to suck to succeed,
Oh, my God.
and the man who got grounded was Hackett. This week,
Whoa, that's cool.
our final 5 get a license to thrill
Yeah!
by testing a myth that a car packed with custom-made weapons can bring any pursuit to a shuddering halt
Oh, there's material everywhere.
in a matter of seconds.
Whoa, that was a bit more impressive.
Then it's time to face fear at its most elemental,
Nothing wrong with this.
with the knowledge that someone won't make it.
The person leaving us this week is... Welcome to Mythbusters The Search. And as you may have guessed, your week's first myth has to do with spies, more specifically their gadget-laden cars, something that your predecessors have previously cranked to the max.
Oh, there we go. Oh, crap.
It may be the ultimate Mythbusters mix.
They stuck in. I can hear them.
There's fast cars,
I got you.
weaponry most of us dream of in rush hour, and a damn good excuse to wear a tuxedo in daytime.
Let's go get a couple of martinis, James.
So, the myth is that you can create a non-lethal device, you don't have a license to kill just yet, that can obscure a bad guy's vision such that his only option is to stop his car. And the person who is driving the spy car must be the one who activates it. In terms of teams this week, Martin, John, you're gonna be Team Blue, making the rest of you Team Red.
When I was a kid, I'd watch these movies and be like, that can't happen. But now I'm on the other side where I have to make it happen.
Wanna meet your cars?
Yes.
Let's bring them in.
Whoa, that's cool.
I know these aren't exactly Aston Martins, but they're not identical either. So, Tamara, as you were last week's MVP, I will let you and your team quickly decide which of these cars you want, the 2-door or the 4-door.
So it might.
No need to check the engine or kick the tires.
This just looks like a lot more volume to me.
It's all about choosing the biggest and baddest back end.
I grew up watching 007, so the thought of not only getting to kind of be James Bond in this myth, but also make some of our own super secret tech is really cool.
All right, Tamara, what car did your team pick?
The 4-door.
Martin, John, that means you get the 2-door. You have just 3 days in which to build your device, and your time starts now.
6 weeks into the competition, it's their first real chance to indulge in some flights of fancy.
I'm thinking lasers. Every so often you hear stories about like a pilot trying to fly an airplane and they get like blinded by a green laser. If we did the same thing with our car, then I don't know how they'd be able to follow us if they were blinded.
Alan should have thought twice before pitching that to a qualified pilot.
I think the dangers of the laser outweigh the non-lethal aspect in this case. I think we have to avoid that.
What if we like tar and feather the car behind us? Like if we launch like a thing of tar in like a water balloon or something, and then just let go of a box of feathers so that it covers the windshield so they can't see anything.
Right from the get-go, this is looking like Alan's party. His tar and feather scheme seems to have stuck.
So we've got the tar and feather, but maybe eco-friendly, so
Right.
maybe like a syrup feather kind of combo.
Something sticky that we don't mind being all over the ground.
I want more than feathers, though. You gotta, I mean,
That could be like confetti, it could be, I don't know,
Glitter,
streamers.
very
Could it be-
theatrical.
This is starting to sound like a party.
So they've settled on the basics. A wooden box or hopper filled to the brim with party paraphernalia, propelled by a high-powered leaf blower. Thunderball meet Priscilla, queen of the desert. Across at the blue team brainstorm, John's had a brain snap.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Smoke grenade, metal cone with holes in it. Shoot it, boom, through the windshield, fills our cabin with smoke, we win.
2 problems with that.
What?
And this. Non-lethal, John.
All right, fine, what's your idea?
So it's a manifold of mortars. We fill it with Christmas tree ornaments. And so those are filled with something that when shot out or hits their windshield, and when it splatters, they smear all over their windshield, they can't drive.
What if we added something like an array of paintball guns that would just completely covers windshield and whatever materials we're putting in those? How about we take these ideas and we literally just fill Christmas tree ornaments and hurl them at windshields to test them?
Yeah, let's do it.
So with a clear plan in place, Martin pipes 4 kinds of premium glop into his ornaments.
Look at that. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Peanut butter, honey, petroleum jelly,
It's like squeezing a big zit.
and contact cement.
These ornaments are perfect because they'll carry our goop, they'll shatter on impact, but they'll leave everything else intact. The next challenge is which one of these things work best, which we're gonna try now.
The setup is pretty simple. I'm gonna take these Christmas ornaments filled with our various vision-obscuring goos, and I'm gonna throw them right at the windshield.
And if John can actually hit the windshield, I'm gonna then flip on the windshield wipers and see how many wipes it takes to get rid of that goop.
We all know that honey sticks to glass. But will it survive the water and wiper test?
Test 1, honey.
Whoa! Here we go, wipers. The honey worked surprisingly well. It took 10 wipes until enough was removed that as a chase driver, I felt like I could keep on driving. Next up, we're continuing the sandwich theme, and we're gonna do peanut butter.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah!
You know what's surprising is the honey actually works better. That was gone in about 6 wipes.
But this smear campaign hasn't quite run its course.
Petroleum jelly in 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Contact cement.
Oh man, this is gonna get ugly.
1.
Nice!
After 30 wipes each, the jelly and the cement are virtually unwipe-offable.
It's getting worse. It's going nowhere.
But even with 2 clear winners, John decides it's every gooey mess gets a prize day.
The honey's super viscous. The peanut butter is completely opaque when it hits that windshield. And when petroleum jelly and contact cement mix with water, you almost can't clean it off. So we're gonna use all 4 and mix and match them inside our cannon to really keep them guessing.
Meanwhile, Team Red's honing their hardware.
All right, Brian, check this out. This is a cordless leaf blower, 56-volt lithium ion. It's got turbo boost, makes it only last 10 minutes.
And Alan's built a simple hopper to get this party started.
This is hopefully our hopper system. We have our leaf blower connected to a pipe and a big hole cut in the top with this box over it. And I'm hoping that the high-speed air coming from the leaf blower through the pipe will cause a low-pressure system that'll suck anything in the box into the pipe and out that way.
Here's how that's meant to work.
Not exactly the direction I was hoping for.
the hopper needs a lid, man.
It's a simple, quick fix that hopefully whips up the requisite feather hurricane.
Feathers, 3, 2, 1.
That's more like it. But they still need to nail the tar part of tar and feather. Real tar is way too thick, so they're testing 4 homemade substitutes.
Our materials for a proof of concept are 60% maple syrup, 50% honey, 50% cornstarch, and 50% corn syrup. All diluted down in water so that we can get a little bit more throw with it.
To see which works best,
Test 1, 60% maple syrup.
the sticky solutions get blasted side by side at the windshield.
That's nice and sticky.
It's thick.
Then Alan aims up with his feather cannon.
Say hello to my big awkward friend.
Brian's in the driver's seat.
Adhesive test with feather solids in 3, 2, 1.
And he's not exactly blinded by science.
I can still see you.
It's a little disappointing,
That's
actually.
very disappointing.
I'm not sure the feathers are the best at obscuring the vision, but we might non-lethally prevent our pursuer from following us simply by making him laugh so hard that he runs off the road. That's our only hope. We'll see what happens.
The quick take home? Well, the blower blows, but the diluted glues aren't all sticking.
The second we added the fluid, everything except the honey and maple syrup just washed right off. So we know we need to stick to the simpler sugars you find in honey and maple syrup, and we'll have our best bet.
3, 2, 1.
Mythbusters and spy cars have a long and somewhat brutal history.
You all right there, little buddy? You totally disabled me.
But the vision obscuring technique didn't fare so well. We tried it in 2010 with a parachute,
Oh, and it's away! Nice try.
which disabled the chase car not one little bit.
Ah, they caught me.
Oddly, today's teams have both embraced a very un-Bond-like festive theme. Glitter and feathers for the Reds,
That wasn't bad.
Christmas ornaments for the Blues.
What? Oh, baby.
But things soon take a more volatile turn. John's building a cannon from plumbing parts.
And this is how it works. We have 4 barrels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and right behind them are the magazines that hold 6 Christmas tree ornaments. Then right here sits an air tank, and right behind it, a solenoid valve that I actuate with a switch.
After gluing the makeshift mortar together, Martin salvages an air tank from the recent cabbage slinging myth.
Good?
Yeah.
The ornaments are filled with water, then they're locked and loaded.
Single ball in each barrel in 3, 2, 1. Yeah!
Wow.
Can we check the high speed to see where they hit?
We can indeed. Although 2 of the baubles shot high and a tad wide, it's a spectacular trial run.
That first test was to see if we could do 1 ball per barrel and shoot that perfect balance of pressure. The next test is to find out if we can do rapid fire one after the other. And if that works, there's no way we're gonna lose this.
Time to see if the plumbing can cope with triple the ammo.
3 balls in each barrel. Gate test. First fire in 3, 2, 1. Woo!
With 8 more balls down the barrels, they're primed for that crucial second volley.
Firing in 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay.
But this time, there's a hitch. Instead of a 4-ball barrage, it shoots 6.
Oh my God.
All right, let's check it out.
Technically, that's a misfire. And the problem lies with the hinged flaps that were meant to release just 1 bauble at a time.
To really get this cannon to sing, we need consistency and 4 balls to fire every time. And I think I have some ideas.
The trouble for Team Red is they have too many ideas, like a whole bunch of potential windshield adherents that aren't getting sticky till they're half dried.
While the red team is turning their bad guy's car into a powdered donut, let me remind you, this is the episode before the finale. If there was any myth that you'd want to absolutely nail, it would be this.
Brian, at least, is doing his best to get some kind of glue gun apparatus up and firing.
So we have a nice little simple system, an air tank, which you've all seen before, a fluid reservoir, and a fancy hose. So when we pop that trunk open, he's gonna get gooed. Lots of goo.
This is part of a 2-phase assault by Team Red, where the glue's fired before the projectiles. Right now, the tricky bit is getting that Goldilocks mix. Tacky enough to stick, but dilute enough to be shot from a distance.
We have a mixture that we think is gonna work pretty well. It's breakfast syrup, honey, and alcohol, but it's also really thick. So we're not actually sure if it'll fire out of our nozzle. We're gonna do a test right now to make sure that what we have will actually shoot far enough to hit the pursuing vehicle behind us.
They're retesting honey mixed with alcohol.
What is that, maybe 6 inches?
If he rear ends us, we've got him. Yeah.
What happened there?
It had to build up back pressure. This is worst case, right? Thin tubes, very little pressure. Ours is gonna have 3 air tanks pressurizing the back end of it and bigger nozzles. It should work.
Famous last words.
But enough with the nozzles and pressurized back ends. A second myth awaits testing. It won't take too long, and they can do it flat in their backs.
We've changed and gone tools down on Spy Car because it's time to test this week's second myth. And I think it's something that James Bond wouldn't really enjoy, because the myth is that when experiencing extreme fear, you can sing to calm yourself. This is your special guest judge for this week, Owen Merricks. Beneath this calm-looking exterior is an expert in inducing fear.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh my God!
Owen's raised plenty of goosebumps before, like the time they put smell of fear to the test.
He thinks her nail is a bug.
And you've got to respect a man who knows his rodents.
Can they burrow in through clothing?
There's very little in this world that'll stop a rat.
Leave him alone.
No, get it out! Get it out!
Owen, do you want to give them an idea of what they're up against?
Oh, it's a little something like this, times 1,000.
Yeah, things are gonna get creepy. So here's what's gonna happen. Each candidate, one by one, will have their biometric baselines assessed while calm. Then they'll be subjected to 2 tests. During the first test, they're kind of just gonna have to deal with whatever's happening to them. But during the second test, they'll be able to sing to stay sane. After each test, they'll have their biometrics taken again to see if singing had any calming effect.
For this myth, we were told to wear shorts, and I assumed it'd be because we were like gonna wax our legs or something. But this is so much worse. It is so bad.
2 vital statistics are especially reliable fear indicators. Heart rate, which should go up,
You said my heart was 70?
Yeah, your heart rate's 70.
and foot temperature, which should go down as blood gets diverted to key muscles for fight or flight.
Here is our test platform, a plexiglass coffin with 3 sections. One by one, each candidate will come in and get locked in. Then Owen will start adding creepy crawlies to the legs, the torso, and their heads. At that point, the clock will start.
And the contestants will just have to lie there and take it. There's literally no wriggle room.
I'm from Texas. I was a paramedic. I did research cutting open bodies at a body farm. Not much is gonna scare me, but being eliminated, that's keeping me on my toes.
Oh no, they love the beard.
In the sing to stay calm myth, Martin's the first to offer his body for science.
I got a bad feeling about this one.
When they're done, the results from these first control tests can be matched against those when they're singing.
2 things you should know about this test. 1, if you really start panicking, you can say abort and we'll get you right out of there. 2, this is a control, so no meditating, no slow breathing, no calming techniques. So, you ready to be administered?
Hit me.
The torment kicks off with a slimy avalanche of garden worms.
Oh, jeez, and you can feel every single one of them crawling.
For the gentleman's midriff, something heftier.
If I hear a rattler, I'm getting the hell out of here.
Last but not least,
It's a veritable plague of crickets.
Martin, so your 6 minutes starts right now.
Remember, there's no calming singing permitted at this stage. They just have to suffer in silence, more or less.
You know, the worst part of this is just hearing all the legs around my ears.
Hey, Martin, 2 minutes to go. How you feeling?
Peachy.
I don't believe him.
Martin stoically sticks out the full 6 minutes and then makes way for his soon-to-be horrified cohorts.
Thank you for tucking in my shirt.
Vital signs are monitored minute to minute. And the contestant who seems to be coping the best is Tamara.
This is really cool.
Seen here sporting a brand new boa.
You have a snake neck pillow.
It's cooling, it's massaging, and it lifts your head.
But the numbers don't lie. Just like the others, Tamara's stats show a marked response.
Obviously, for a myth like this, we are looking for good data. We want to see if singing helps you stay calm, but also we're looking for a certain kind of composure under pressure, something that a Mythbuster should have.
Yes, he's squeezing my head pretty hard.
In a bad way?
Last in the box is the man voted most likely to squeal like a squirrel.
Oh, nothing wrong with this.
And the clock hasn't even started.
Oh, something licked my thumb. All right.
Alan, your time starts now.
Now. Okay. Yeah.
Well, the lights are out.
The tail is moving on my neck. Oh, there are crickets in my armpits.
Alan is having a gigantic stress reaction to this test. His baseline heart rate was 68. His heart rate right now is double that.
By the end of the test, Alan's heart rate settles, ever so slightly, to 115 beats per minute.
Was that disgusting and horrifying? Yes. Every so often, I don't know what, but something would lick me. That's just not a feeling you want to feel coming from a pile of snakes.
The data couldn't be better. They've all shown an increased pulse and a decreased foot temperature, putting us in a perfect position to test the myth that singing under stress
That's in my pants.
can calm those frayed nerves.
Martin is our first candidate to test the singing round, but what will he be singing? He won't be singing his #1 favorite artist, Katy Perry, because of royalty fees.
What? So to save a dime, we've settled on 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Oh yeah, and there's one other change-up.
These are not the critters you encountered in the first test.
Oh, great. Oh, I don't like these.
The body's response to stress is to snap into fight or flight mode. The heart speeds up, and the extremities cool down as more blood gets pumped to the muscles, maximizing the potential for increased speed and strength.
We're bumping it up a little notch, aren't we, Kyle?
Close your mouth.
I love you guys right now. 99 bottles of beer. I got cockroach poop in my mouth.
He's also got a rat up his shorts. But Martin's determined to stick it out.
96 bottles of beer.
And he's convinced that the singing is working.
Knock one down, pass it around.
Once I started seeing, it definitely took my mind away of a million things trying to dig into my soul.
And so the concert continues.
99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer.
Theory being that singing releases feel-good endorphins.
Take one down, pass it around. 94 bottles of beer on the wall. Take one down, pass it around.
98 bottles of beer on the wall.
98 bottles of beer on the wall. Take
98
one down, pass it
98
around.
bottles of
97
beer.
bottles of beer on the wall. 97 bottles of beer.
97 bottles of beer on the wall.
The fact that I was surprised by what they were throwing on me actually made it more scary. Beer on the wall. Oh, God, they're all 95 bottles of beer on the wall. I got used to slimy. So when they hit me with dry, sharp things, I didn't know what was happening, so I guess kind of flipped out a little bit. I live!
Oh, there's a cockroach on your back.
Oh, it did pee on me.
I think the singing was definitely a good distraction, but I think the animals were even more so because I lost count quite a few times.
Take one down, pass it around. 96 bottles of beer on the wall.
I sing all the time in my head to calm myself down, and I don't think that concentration is any different than singing verbally out loud. And I really do think it would calm me down.
20 minutes and many bottles later, it's Alan's turn.
Step into my coffin.
I'm gonna sing a song this time, so what could go wrong?
After almost doubling his heart rate last time, the feeling is that Alan has the most room for improvement. And so the best chance at confirming the myth.
Are you ready for the critters?
Yes.
They are new critters.
Okay. Those feel more active.
So are the rats.
These are different.
And so are the hissing roaches. At times like this, all you can do is sing.
99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99 bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall. 96 bottles of beer on the wall. You take one down, you pass it around. 92 bottles of beer on the wall.
Singing and sobbing in equal parts.
Take one down, you pass it around. 88 bottles of beer on the wall.
Alan again hangs in till the buzzer. But did his numbers change?
I think singing actually did help me keep my mind on something other than all the weird feelings that were on my body. I don't know if the data will show that, but it felt better.
First of all, good job. What were the results? Well, the myth was that while experiencing extreme fear, singing can help you stay calm. And we did see that pattern in John, Brian, Tamara.
In one of the most interesting outcomes in ages, 3 results were just as predicted. But singing made no impact on super cool Martin, while Alan maintained peak hysteria throughout.
We're gonna have to call this myth plausible. So wash your hands, rest up, come back tomorrow ready to work on your spy cars.
In the search for the next Mythbusters, our last 5 contestants have split into 2 teams to build and deploy non-lethal spy car defense systems.
Yeah!
Right now, Red Team's strategy is a bit like how sponges reproduce in the open ocean. Throw up a bunch of fluid and some clouds of material and hope that they mix perfectly. Blue Team, on the other hand, just has to line up the bad guy in their sights and fire their projectiles. We'll have to see who wins. Party or precision.
But the Blues still have to fine-tune the flappers on that multi-shot mortar.
First and foremost, this thing operates beautifully.
Woo!
But we found out one very important thing. These little flappers don't work very well. After our first shot, 6 balls dropped into place and got shot out.
Oh! Okay.
So to fix that, we're gonna put in these little rods that hold the next round into place. So we have to pull 4 rods, next 4 balls fall into place. Boom!
It's a fairly straightforward job to fit the rods and wires, and a really fun job to test them.
Upgrade test number 1. Empty baubles firing in 3, 2, 1.
Nice!
Still pretty nice.
Pull the pins.
Ready? What? Fire number 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Sweet! That went pretty well.
Yeah, it's 1 ball per barrel, so it's nice and clean.
After a somewhat unconvincing trial of their glue gun, Team Red's now facing its own propulsion problems. Alan needs a way of firing the feathers and the glitter separately from the same power source.
The way we're gonna deal with that is by having these butterfly valves. These can open and close and control the flow of air so that we only shoot one thing out at a time. These are controlled with this microcontroller, which is like a little computer, and that'll be controlled with the flip of a switch. Let's try these out. So if I blow through this right now, nothing happens. If I open it and blow through, feathers come out.
To ensure a clear field of fire, Brian's installed supersized springs to hold the trunk open.
All right, everybody ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh, it latched.
Oh, that was really good.
Our full system is starting to come together, and seeing as how we haven't done a whole test yet, this is gonna be really important to just see if we can blow a single bag of feathers with our current setup.
Incredibly, with the deadline just hours away, Team Red still doesn't know if its feathers will fly.
This is the final feather test in 3, 2, 1.
The butterfly valves work just like they're meant to, but Alan's blower has lost its puff.
I don't see feathers. Where are they?
Well, because there's nothing to keep the air in, they just settled out on the bottom.
It's way too late to design a new launch system, let alone build one. For Brian, it's the last straw.
What we've gotten done and the amount of time we've had with the experience we have is disappointing to me, and I think we could have done a lot more. And for the penultimate episode, I think it could have been a lot more impressive.
Even the ever-optimistic Alan is starting to feel the pressure of competition.
I am so close to the final, I can taste it. And I don't want to go home, but Martin and John are beasts when it comes to building.
Cue beast number 2 with his contribution to the carnage.
Introducing defense mechanism number 2. It's a pair of fully automatic paintball guns that will be mounted in between our cannon barrels.
The results are more Bonnie and Clyde than James Bond. But that's just how John likes it.
That's gonna be real good. So what I'm actually doing right now is mounting these paintball guns onto these clamps. But also, I'm gonna sneak my own little switch into their trigger so I can fire these remotely from the front of the car.
Not to be outgunned, Martin decides he can jam one more weapon into the Blues' arsenal. Miniature rockets.
We can actually fill these rocket tubes with our goop, glue on our little nose cone, and then these will load into our tubes.
Hobby rockets are an all-time Mythbusters favorite.
That didn't go the way I expected, really.
And it's easy to see why. We've used them on small-scale rocket cars.
When we add this much power to a vehicle can go out of control.
To tank test a 13th century torpedo.
I think we have our design.
It goes pretty quick, doesn't it?
All right, see you guys on the other side of the lake.
And even to jumpstart a 21st century surfboard.
Ride the rocket!
I rode the rocket surfboard!
Another test launch beckons, but this time...
In 3, 2, 1. Jeez! Sadly, it blew off all the fins. We were left with nothing.
It's the Blues' first real setback. So,
Either back to the drawing board or we're just gonna have to scrap this all together.
and here's a twist no one saw coming. Despite Red Team's sniping and setbacks, they're actually slightly ahead of the Blues.
If you asked me how Blue Team's build was going just a few hours ago, I'd say they have this in the bag. But with only 2 hours left in their build, they haven't actually fit anything inside of their car. They need to make this thing a spy car now.
With just 2 hours left to finish their spy car defense systems, both teams are under the pump. Martin's first mini rocket was anything but a guided missile.
Whoa! Little bit straighter, not great.
The solution? Build a bigger rocket.
It should be twice as stable now since I've doubled the length, which moves the center of mass forward, acting just like a dart. Testing twice the length in 3, 2, 1. Whoa, yes! So it was a success. It hit our ball right onto the board. You can see where it splattered. Look at that, it hit our target. And so this is something that we can even count on.
Meantime, John welds his lethal array of paintball guns to the mainframe.
I've only dreamed about making remotely fired guns. And so because this works and this whole system works, I kind of just want to cry a little bit right now, just like a little bit.
Hold that thought, John, because now it's time to see if this multiple missile launcher actually fits in their hatchback.
Let's check to see if the door clears those hopper tubes.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Okay, if we have to cut those magazine dash hoppers down, how many rounds do we lose?
2 times 4, so 8 shots.
No.
We gotta do it though, or it's not gonna fit.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull it. It's a little disappointing that this doesn't fit with the window hitting these hoppers, but we can still fling 20 balls at the people chasing us, so we're gonna be fine.
Red team's troubles run deeper. Their own rig's a snug fit, but in-trunk testing has hardly ruffled a feather.
When we were doing this test before, that leaf blower was blowing the heck out of everything. And now that we're going through this manifold, it feels like it's like a hair dryer.
I think that we should definitely ensure that our piping is as short as possible.
So after taking a hatchet to that anaconda-sized manifold, they try again.
Final feather test. It looks like a Thanksgiving catastrophe.
But for Team Red, it's a much-needed triumph. To celebrate, Tamara mixes a batch of her honey glue cocktail,
What's a lot of honey without some alcohol in it?
adding dark food coloring so they can track its trajectory. Meantime, Brian installs a contraption he's been slaving over, the liquid launch system.
Starts with pressurized air that goes through a sprinkler valve. We're gonna put the goop in through these holes at the top, air feeds in, out comes the bottom, and then it goes through sprinkler heads on the back of the vehicle.
In the short time remaining, both teams install wiring connected to dashboard switch panels.
All you gotta do is stick this wire in here.
Oh. Ready for a systems check, John?
You ready?
Yeah, bring up the trunk.
Oh!
That is sexy.
All right, teams, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Tools down. Step away from your spy cars. I'll be seeing you tomorrow morning at the runway, and come dressed to kill.
All that remains is for each team to choose its test track James Bond.
I'm gonna be driving our fancy spy car because I want to.
She said, I want to drive. I said, okay.
The blue team used similar logic. It's all down to who wants it most.
Even though we have about the same stunt car driving experience, which is practically 0, as you can tell, he's really, really excited about it.
Oh, machine gun fire!
And since he's this passionate, I'm not gonna be Dr. No.
I think they can't see anything. I think we're good. But just add insult to injury. Christmas bubbles!
Ready or not, it's test day at Alameda. This is where the rubber meets the road, and hopefully the muck hits and sticks to the windshield.
Welcome to Alameda Runway. Let me introduce to you our special guest judge and honorary Mythbuster, Brian Fraser. He's gonna be playing part of bad guy this myth.
And here's why Brian gets to wear the black hat. He's been a police training driver for 2 decades. In the car versus rain myth, Brian took the wheel when the going got seriously slippery,
So it does make sense to gun it. The faster the better, in fact.
pushing the Porsche to 120 miles per on this very runway.
Wow, that seemed quite intense.
It was very intense and a lot of fun.
So here's what's gonna happen. Behind me, we've set up a large oval track. When I say go, the first team will peel off the line and then have 10 seconds to drive before Brian and I start pursuing. Then you have just 10 laps to take us out by obscuring our vision in some way. If you can do that, it's looking pretty good for the myth. But if you can't, it's game over. Red team, you'll be going first. So get ready.
Tamara's the designated driver. Alan and Brian can only watch and pray.
Everything in our cars so far has had some kind of problem, whether it's shooting the feathers out or shooting the sticky goo through our pressurized spray system. The very first time we run, the entire thing is gonna be when we're out there.
Here we go.
Tamara bides her time as Brian closes in.
Okay, after 2 laps, Tamara has still not deployed her device. Maybe we haven't given her the perfect window.
The cat and mouse are getting almost where we want him.
After a massive 3-day build, it comes down to this. But whatever goes down, we know Team Red's prepared for a party.
Whoa!
It's test day at Alameda for our Blind the Bad Guy spy car myth.
I think it's time that we actually unleash the feather.
Team Red's on track, and Tamara's ready to pop the trunk.
There she goes.
Whoa!
Phase 1 is to get that hopefully sticky goop all over Brian's windshield.
This boy are sticky.
Is it spraying?
Oh, that's too far. He's too far away.
So Tamara eases off the gas till Brian's within spitting range.
It's hard. Now we got our feathers.
What happens next should surprise no one. This is how feathers behave when they're tossed into turbulent air.
Is there anything sticking to his windshield?
Actually, there is. The honey ethanol glue's done a Jackson Pollock on the chase car.
Let's deploy the windshield wipers, Brian. Oh, no! That's made it worse. Nope, we're fine.
It's wiping away.
It's the wipers. It's sticking, but it's the wiper. I think we're in trouble.
But they're not beaten yet. Tamara's still got a sack full of glittery powder to fling.
What is that, red paint?
I don't know.
Which goes much the same way as the feathers.
I gotta admit, if we didn't have the windshield wipers right now with some fluid, we'd be in real trouble. It was hard to see through that windshield.
Half a trunk full of party projectiles remains, seemingly stuck in situ.
Open up all the valves. Blow out everything.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Oh, man, it just looks like he hit the bird from up. It doesn't even look that impressive anymore.
We only have a few laps to go, and so far our windshield wipers have been able to deflect everything that Red Team has thrown at us.
And that's how it ends after 10 laps. Pursuit car 1, escape car 0.
What's ironic to me is that there's less material here than there is here. It's almost as if they didn't engage the release device button as much as they did the self-destruct button.
Now it's all up to the blue team to stop the pursuit car dead in its tracks.
Here we go.
Can't hide from us, John.
All right, that's lap number 1. Oh, there he is. He's gunning it for me. With the trunk down, it is kind of hard to see. Oh, he's trying to pull up. He's gonna cut me off.
When he's driving, he's gonna have to deal with our bobbing and weaving and use the brake and the gas to get us closer or further away. It's gonna be a tough job for him just to drive this thing, let alone activate all the switches they got.
John's in complete control.
Here we go. Let's see if I can get in front of him.
And when he's good and ready,
Trunk deploying. Here we go.
Oh, man, what is that?
the first salvos burst from the back of the car.
Rockets engaged!
Whoa!
How was that?
Whoa!
Is he still following me?
Martin's missiles are classic 007.
Rockets deployed!
Whoa!
Did I hit? Did we hit?
But they're all shooting high or wide of the mark.
Right now, the rockets are impressive to look at, but they haven't come close to stopping us. They got to do something different.
Well, you asked for it.
This next one's a personal favorite. I'm gonna hit him with the paintball guns. Here we go. Getting into the kill zone. Here we go.
Whoa! He's trying to get us into a firing line of paintballs.
The volley of paintballs is dead on target.
We can definitely still see, but we've been hit.
But it hasn't stopped the pursuit.
Thankfully, he's only hitting my side of the car.
And now for the big guns.
Cannon time, baby. Here we go. Fire.
Whoa! That was a bit more impressive. That was a bang. This is definitely not the same stuff that's in the paintballs. This looks a lot more viscous. Oh, can you smell it?
Smells like glue.
Smells like contact cement is what it smells like.
We're gonna go for another shot. Here we go.
This was always their best bet. The blue team's Christmas offensive.
Let's try to get the windshield wipers going. Oh no, oh no. That's made it much worse. If they hit us with one or two more of those.
Here we go.
Whoa, okay.
That was a direct hit. Right? Oh!
And as planned, the more they try to wipe clear their windshield, the more the goop smears.
I can't see anything, Brian. Let's bring this to a stop.
With 1 lap to go, Brian's forced to rethink his plans for world domination and pull the hell over.
Dude, beautiful. The whole system works beautifully. rockets, paintballs, everything. Dude,
That was amazing.
Martin and John have pulled this myth from the trash can.
oh yeah, that was a direct hit.
But they did it the hard way, with 1 lap to spare. They found out firsthand how tough it can be to hit and disable a moving target.
Well, after everything that happened today, I can say that I am both shaken and stirred. The myth was that you could create a device that was non-lethal and would obscure a bad guy's vision such that he would have to stop the car he was driving. And although Red Team's salvo of honey and feathers wasn't quite enough, Blue Team's Christmas cannon was. So we're gonna call this myth plausible. Congratulations, Blue Team. Which leads us to this week's coveted Mythbusters MVP trophy. All of you did awesome this week, but we want everyone who continues on to the finale to have a level playing field. So this week's MVP is no one. This, of course, means that any one of you could be going home. This is by far the hardest decision that we've ever had to make on this show, but I've talked it over with Brian and with Owen and the rest of the Mythbusters crew, and although every single one of you has great build skills and science smarts and on-camera talent, the person leaving us this week is Alan. Sorry, dude.
Come on, dude.
We'll be seeing you again very soon, I promise.
It's been a pleasure and an honor, sir. Good to see you on.
Yeah.
So just where was it Alan came unstuck? Well, in a nutshell, he was the driving force behind Red Team's terrible plan to disable the chase car with breakfast and party favors. And with competition so tight, that was enough.
It's been a crazy experience. I think I've crossed off so many things off my bucket list. There's nothing else to say. This has been the best summer camp ever.
Can I take that car? No.
Don't stop until the runway does.
It would have been fitting if Alan drove off into the sunset. But hey, some days just don't work out like you'd planned. Next time,
Talk about ending with a bang.
the search launches its spectacular finale.
Let the science begin.
4 myth-busting finalists tackle 2 of the toughest tests yet.
Pleasure knowing you, Buster.
A water heater rocket ride. And can
Duct tape.
really float your feet. Who will remain standing? Who will make it as the next generation Mythbuster?
And now for the announcement we've all been waiting for.